Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Southwestern City School District Board of Education. The Board of Education welcomes and values your comments and the time set aside during the first regular meeting of the month for public participation. So all concerns may be heard. Please observe these rules for public participation. Only 3 people may speak on the same topic. Each speaker may take up to 5 minutes to address the board, and each speaker may not reflect adversely on individuals. If a parent or community member has a complaint about an employee, it should be referred to the employee supervisor. Those wishing to address the board on agenda items only may sign up at the podium prior to the start of the meeting. Tonight's form to address the board concerning non-agenda items will include only those who had signed up by noon earlier today with the superintendent's office. These will take place at the end of tonight's agenda. As a reminder, public participation is an opportunity for the community to address the board in a formal setting, however, is not designed or intended to be interactive. While we greatly appreciate individuals engaging with us, we expect the administration and building level staff to work cooperatively with the community to address items discussed. We request that audience members be respectful of each participant, what they have to say in the process. We thank you for attending tonight's Board of Education meeting, and we thank you for your support of our students.
Stand and join us for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to call this Monday, June 12th, 2023 regular Board of Education meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bosso. Here. Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Martindale.
Here.
Mr. Schreiner.
Here.
Mr. Caldwell.
Here. Can I have a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So move. Schreiner.
Thank you, Mr. Schreiner. Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Martindale, roll call, please.
Mr. Schreiner.
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes. In your board packet are the minutes from our last meeting. Can I have a motion to adopt the May 8th, 2023 meeting minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Bosso. A second?
I'll second.
Any additions, corrections to those minutes? Here none. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bosso.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mr. Schreiner.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes. All right. First, we have a couple of presentations. First, we'd like to call Mr. Evan Dilo, our Executive Director of Communications.
Good evening, President Caldwell, Vice President Schreiner, Mr. Bosso, Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Martindale, Dr. Wise, and Mr. Garside. Tonight, we find ourselves with a forum within this opportunity to recognize the exemplary efforts of truly heroes among us. Staff members turned first responder whose swift intervention arguably saved the lives of 2 students in 2 different instances in recent months in our school system. While the details with respect to HIPAA of both events are privy to just your working knowledge and known only to these heroic individuals behind me, the families and buildings affected wholeheartedly know the full extent of their fast action and impact. If I could at this time invite those individuals to come forward up to the front. These individuals represent the best in what it means to respond intentionally in a timely manner when a medical event presents itself. While some of those who have who are with us tonight do not represent the entirety of the group, I just want to go ahead and read everybody's names who has been associated with both of these medical events. Nancy Leonard, Michaela Cordell, Travis Christensen, Bethany Townsend, Kaylin Stevens, David Wallace, and Justin Brown. From the initial onset of responding to any medical crisis, those are at the first point of contact know they are up against the clock, do not know all the circumstances, and must demonstrate resilience and strength of character to keep students safe. In the face of such difficult situations, these educators not only sprang into action, but their implementation of life-saving measures and their unwavering commitment to affected students most certainly saved lives. We owe them a level of gratitude that words alone cannot fully express. And on behalf of the administration and the Board of Education, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you for your efforts in recent months.
That's right.
Thank you. Thanks.
No, in front. Oh,
right. Yes.
Yeah, you're.
Yes.
No, you're fine.
All right. One more round of applause.
Next, we'd like to call Dr. Susan Hayward, our Assistant Superintendent for Personnel, for the recognition of our retirees.
Obviously.
Dr. Hayward has you first.
Yes, obviously, I'm not Dr. Hayward, but good evening, President Caldwell, Vice President Schreiner, Mr. Boso, Ms. Johnson, Mrs. Martinell, Dr. Wise, and Terry Garside. My name is Matthew Castro. It is my distinct pleasure to represent outstanding 2023 class of classified retirees to show our appreciation for their years of service to public education, to our students and staff within the Southwest City School District. We're going to start our recognitions in the celebration with Michelle Joseph. Michelle retired on November 1st, 2022. She has served as an assessment or as an aide with the district at Galloway Ridge Intermediate School and Holt Crossing Intermediate School.
Group at the end of, so don't go too far.
Next, we have Lisa Leisure. Lisa is retiring on June 30th, 2023. She was a special education aide for 2 years at West Franklin and Darby Woods, over 3 years at East Franklin, and an assessment aide for 2 years at Prairie Lincoln and Prairie Norton. She spent the remaining 22 years of her career at Franklin Woods Intermediate as an ERC aide. Our next retiree is having a big night. Nancy Leonard. Nancy's retirement date was June 30th, 2023. She started her career as a cook at Prairie Lincoln Elementary. She then changed positions to an aide at Pleasant View Middle School. She was part of the original staff at Holt Crossing Intermediate and then moved to Hayes Intermediate when it opened, where she currently works. And if you've ever tried to enter Grove City High School, this person will be the first one to meet you at the door. Wanda Mason. Wanda began her career in the clinic at Brook Park Middle School. She then became a one-on-one aide for a student and followed them from Highland Park to Park Street, Jackson Middle, and Grove City High School. She also served at Franklin Heights for a short time. She moved to Richard Avenue handling attendance. She returned to Highland Park to work with the kindergarten class where she won the Helping Hands Award. Her last assignment was at Grove City High School as an assessment aide at the front desk.
Next, we will transition to certified and one administrative. Linda Conti. Linda's retiring on June 30th, 2023, after serving the district for over 34 years. She served as the district 7th grade teacher at Finland Middle School and a biology and health teacher at Grove City High School. Next, we have Paula Deerfield. Paula is retiring on July 1st, 2023. She has served as a speech pathologist at Buckeye Woods, Buckeye Ranch, Head Start, Kingston School, Galloway Ridge Intermediate, Finland Middle School, Darbydale, J.C. Summer, Hayes Intermediate, Pleasant View Middle, Park Street Intermediate, and Central Crossing High School. I'm not sure if she's here yet. Pam Ewalt. Pam's retirement date is June 30th, 2023. She began as a part-time substitute during her first year in kindergarten at Harmon Elementary. She went on to teach kindergarten for 10 years and second grade for 16 years at Stiles Elementary. Her last assignment was at Fulton Crossing as a first grade teacher. Laura retired May 31st from Prairie Norton, where she spent her entire career. She was originally hired as a third grade teacher and taught there for the first 24 years. And then she moved to second grade and has been in that position for 11 years. John Patton. John was a graduate of Grove City High School and returned to Southwestern as a teacher in 1988. She taught fifth grade at Prairie Lincoln until 1990, when she moved to North Franklin until 1998. She went on to serve at Norton Middle and Stiles Elementary. She finished her career at Galloway Ridge, where she began in 2001. Dawn is retiring on June 30th. Next, we have Della Hyman. Della is retiring on July 1st, 2023. She spent her entire career as a Falcon at Franklin Heights High School. Her positions included being a Spanish teacher, graduation coordinator, class advisor, and PAL mentor. Next, Debbie McHarris. Debbie retired on February 28th, 2023. She served 20 years as a payroll manager of classified and certified staff at the District Service Center in the payroll department. Carolyn McIntyre. Carolyn is retiring on June 30th, 2023. She started with Southwestern as a substitute teacher and was then hired as a social studies teacher at Grove City High School. She's been teaching there for the entirety of her career. Next is Kim Meadows. Kim is retiring on June 30th. She started her career with Southwestern as a long-term substitute at Highland Park, then was hired at West Franklin teaching third and fourth grade along with extended kindergarten. She went on to teach at Richard Avenue, J.C. Summer, East Franklin, and Stiles. She became a reading specialist serving at Alton Hall, Prairie Lincoln, and Prairie Norton Elementary. Next, we have John Phillips. John will be retiring on June 30th. He was a physical education teacher at Finland Middle and Park Street Intermediate, with the majority of his years being at J.C. Summer Elementary. John also taught night school at Hayes Technical School. Next, we have Beth Swanson. Beth retired on May 31st. She was a substitute teacher her first year and then was hired at Highland Park, where she spent her entire career. She taught kindergarten, first and second grade for 27 years. She has also been a reading recovery teacher. Kim Travis. Kim retired on May 31st, 2023. She began her teaching career in 1978 at Grove City High School, where she taught family and consumer science. From 1995 to the present, she has taught at Finland Middle as a wellness teacher. She served on the site steering committee and was Finland's building technology coordinator and the volleyball coach for many years. On behalf of the board and the administration, we would like to thank all of our retirees for their many, many years of service and dedication to our students and staff.
We get all of our retirees. Last class photo before retirement. Wherever you want. We're in the back. We'll put the smart.
Just, we're actually gonna make kind of like concert arts, like music, so if we can bend in the corners a little bit this way. There we go, there we go. All right. Congratulations.
Well, we want to thank all of our retirees, recent retirees for being here tonight. We can't thank you enough. The work that you've done for this district over your career has just been such an impeccable service to our community, but most importantly to our students. And we certainly cannot thank you. If anyone saw the slideshow at the beginning, we're saying goodbye to 495 years of collective service. And we know that we cannot replace that kind of institutional knowledge and character and love that you've brought to our buildings and to our kids. So we just want to say thank you. And the most important thing is you don't stick around for the meeting if you don't want to. You're welcome to go home, go out to dinner, and enjoy yourselves and celebrate your retirement. Thank you all for coming. Folks are filing out. We do want to thank Mayor Stage for joining us today, as well as former board member Gary Leisure for being here as well. Two incredible leaders in our community. We appreciate them joining us for the celebration as well. Okay, moving on to board reports. Any board reports?
Excuse me, Mr. President, if I may, I just wanted to put out another thank you for those people in emergency that took place at these schools. I'm a Columbus firefighter, and I know to be put in that situation is so traumatic, and usually people lose their heads. I deal with it every day. It's not a big thing for me, but people that don't deal with it every day, for them to step up and do what they did is just extraordinary to me. I just thank you for that. I know most of them aren't here, but that's a big thing to me.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board reports? There are none. All right, next we're going to move to public participation relative to agenda items. First is going to be Mr. Brian Weaver.
Which topic will it be on?
You have 5 minutes.
Which topic? All three topics?
Yeah, you have 5 minutes.
For all three topics?
Yes.
Yes.
My name is Brian Weaver. I am a former IT for City of Grove City in the police department. Thank you, Mr. Bozo, for acknowledging and the board members for acknowledging how important it is to save lives here. Due to HIPAA, they would not divulge what the issue was, but I do have a couple concerns. I noticed that you had the canine dog inside of Garberdale School and other schools here. And as you can see, City Attorney Dean Smith, City of Grove City, declared by Mayor Ike, the mayor's sitting behind me. He admitted in September 2023 that there was a canine attack that happened inside the Grove City Police Department. And I requested a copy of the video. The IT manager who I'm working with downloaded a copy of that video of the K-9 incident. And the city of Grove City and Mayor Ike refused to release that video. And I was wondering if it had to do related to your medical emergency that you may not be aware of, or that city of Grove City Police Department not being truthful to the public. Another, just to let you know, another IT person had resigned from city of Grove City in March. So these are things that you need to be aware of. If it's not the K-9 dog, I was wondering if it's the drug overdose issue that's happening in our schools. Again, you'll notice City of Grove City, as a former IT, they deleted all the data prior to 2021 regarding drug data in City of Grove City. And you'll also notice that we've had 3 police chiefs in the City of Grove City Police Department in the past year. And they resigned shortly after the incidents I brought up in council meeting that I've reported, and I also reported to the Ohio Attorney General's office. And I also gave you the case number in the last council meeting regarding the incident that's happening. For your reference, the case number is H2022-003478, and y'all been given a copy in your email. I've still not received any acknowledgement from many board members, except for Mr. Botha. I appreciate you, Mr. Botha, for acknowledging that you received the email. Again, it seems like the city of Southwest City Schools not being transparent with the public of what's happening in our schools regarding drug issues and stuff like that. You may ask how I know this. That had former Grove City officers have reported to me that they are told not to report drug issues inside of Grove City High School. To make the Grove City High School appear good, it's okay reporting Franklin High Schools. So I'd recommend that you sit down and talk with the city administration and talk with police administration on this K-9 incident and obtain a copy of the internal affairs and a copy of the video that the IT manager downloaded regarding the K-9 dog attacking this police employee, to ensure that K-9 dog is not inside of your schools attacking children. And also to speak with the city administration and also the police administration to ensure that drug records are kept and are posted in a timely manner with truth what's happening in the public. Also, I believe we also need to mention another hero, that is Madison Sparks. She was a 13-year-old girl that's been raped 3 to 5 times. You guys are aware of the lawsuit against Southwest City Schools. Mr. Rutain, who is the Grove City Police Administration Secretary, is his mother, Lori Rutain. His wife, Tasha Rutain, who was the Grove City receptionist at that time, and she is now the hand of police administration system. And also, according to the Grove City Marketing Director, Tom Lutain, who was the former Grove City High School principal and Ohio Board of Education Associate Director, is also a family member. In 2015, I was inside the Grove City Police Department when this trafficking involved incident with Rutain transpired. And again, there's a copy of the video downloaded by the IT manager for internal affair investigation. Again, Mayor Ike and the city administration will not release that video with the internal affair investigation. Madison Sparks had just, as stated in public records, she was raped 3 to 4 times a week at the football field in the school. She was a 13-year-old student from Mr. Rutain, who was Teacher of the Year award in 2015. Again, Mr. Rutain was inside the Grove City Police Department for a traffic involved investigation in 2015. He raped this girl for 4 years. 4 years, and she raped this girl for 4 years, and instead of Grove City Police taking care of this, thank you, Tom. I'd like me to investigate that and ask the city of Grove City and the city police department to understand what is happening in our community. Also, you'll notice last time I spoke this, you guys had a technical glitch and you didn't want to report you did not broadcast the board meeting. I do not believe it's a technical glitch. Again, I think it's Southwest City Schools not being transparent what's happening in our schools regarding K-9 dog, drug overdose, and other incidents that the police hands are tied as well as his school resource officer. And I appreciate it if you do the investigation and respond to my email. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. We apologize. It sounds like the battery's died in my car. Feeling it now. Next, we'd like to call Mayor Ike stage. Public comments.
honorable board members, Dr. Wise, Treasurer Garside, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm actually here to talk about the retirees and certainly not to rebuttal anything that Mr. Weaver said. He's had thousands of pages that have been sent to him. Anyway, I wanted to just say, as a incredible community leaders, and with what we saw tonight with retirements, that our relationship with the school district is unbelievable. And when I see the teachers and the other staff members who are here, I just want to say, we all have a responsibility in making sure that they are thanked at the highest level, because it is a school issue, but it's much more of a community issue. We do our best in trying to serve the community. Having the expertise and the talents that you share with our community is very, very rewarding. And I want to say thank you to the first responders that got out here. But just to comment on behalf of the community, we love you, and we're so glad that you're in Grove City, Ohio. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sage, Mayor Sage. Next, we'll move on to our legislative liaison report with Vice President, Mr. Schreiner.
Thank you, President Caldwell. Much activity happening in the state legislature. I'm just highlighting a few of those items this evening. In Senate activity especially, the Senate unanimously passed Senate Bill 44. The bill would require a state occupational licensing agency to accept electronic license applications. The Ohio Service Commission recently released Ohio and national data on the number of students, teachers, and district administrators. Ohio Public Schools saw a 10.4% decrease in teachers and a 19.3% decrease in administrators between fiscal year 2001 and fiscal year 2020. An interesting fact that kind of goes along with what the mayor just spoke to. But the biggie, the biennial budget update. The Ohio Senate released their version of the biennial budget after their June 6, 2023 Senate Finance Committee meeting. Their initial reactions to the Senate version from those supportive of public education were filled with disappointment. The House's reaction to the Senate version was mixed as well, with some state representatives gearing up for conference committee to find compromise between the House and Senate versions. Although the Senate Finance Committee only held 2 additional hearings for proposed amendments after dropping the bill in the afternoon on June 6th, the Senate is expected to propose 1 more round of changes before the June 15th Senate session. Some notable Senate changes to House Bill 33 are as follows. Reduces the number of personal income tax brackets to just 2, with rates of 2.75% and 3.5%. Maintains the updated fiscal year 2022 base cost inputs in the Fair School Funding Plan, but modified the capacity, which is state and local share, calculation by eliminating the per pupil median federal adjusted gross income. This will cause a reduction in the state share of funding while increasing the local share. Additionally, this change will create more volatility in the state share calculation, By removing this component from the calculation, the formula will no longer be predictable or reliable. Removes the funding for a comprehensive study to determine the needs of economically disadvantaged students, the most effective services for meeting those needs, and the cost to provide those services. Makes Ed Choice voucher eligibility universal for all Ohio students. Students with family incomes below 450% federal poverty level will be eligible for a full voucher. Vouchers for students and families with income above 450% will be means tested based on family income, and the amount of the voucher will be based on a sliding scale. Sets minimum vouchers of 10% for any student, no matter how high their family income is. It restores the mandatory student retention under the law known as the third grade reading guarantee that had been eliminated in the House version. It adds provisions from Senate Bill 1, which restructures the Ohio Department of Education, or ODE, into a cabinet-level agency called the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, or DEW, and drastically changes the roles and responsibilities of the State Board of Education. It removes the Accelerated Appalachian School Building Assistance Program added by the House in their version. Removes the provision for the ODE to provide reimbursements to make school breakfast and lunch free for all students eligible for reduced priced meals. The Senate's budget decreases funding for traditional K through 12 schools who serve, by the way, more than 80% of Ohio students by $542 million over the next 2 years, while increasing private school voucher funding. By the way, that goes to 10% of students in our state by $372 million. The Senate version causes a reduction in the state share of funding while increasing the local share. Additionally, this change will create more volatility in the state share calculation as mentioned. By removing the per pupil medium federal adjusted gross income component from the calculation, the formula will no longer be predictable or reliable. There are a lot more things happening. They will, and I'm only reading some of that report. All of them will be in the minutes attached to our board minutes this time. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Vice President Schreiner. Next, we're going to move to Ms. Martindale with our staff and student achievement report.
I'm excited to say that we have 10 items to speak about tonight, which is always great. More the merrier. All right, so first of all, congratulations to Franklin Heights High School and JROTC unit for being recognized with a unit achievement distinction for the 2022-2023 school year. Congratulations also to Central Crossing High School and JROTC and Grove City High School and JROTC for being recognized as a distinguished unit with honors for the 2022-2023 school year. Congratulations to Franklin Heights School seniors Jasmine Thornton and Contre Robinson, who have been named recipients of the 2023 Catalyst for Positive Change Award by Centero. Thornton and Robinson were recognized for their service work to the community, and Franklin Heights was among only 15 schools represented at the awards event last week. Say congratulations to Grove City High School student Makai Adika, who got Best Actor in a Leading Role in the Grove City High School Orchestra Outstanding Student Orchestra, who took home top honors in these respective areas in the CAPA 2023 Marquee Awards. The 2023 CAPA Marquee Awards program recognizes and celebrates outstanding performance musical theater annually in Central Ohio. Recently, Health Labs in the Southwestern Career Academy attended the Health and Human Resources Services Career Fair at Columbus State. As a part of the fair, over 450 students competed in the Healthcare Occupations Knowledge Quiz. Valerie F. From pre-nursing and Mohogami from medical data management placed in the top 3. So congratulations to both of those students. And then congratulations to a second grader named Sophia from Prairie Lincoln Elementary School, who took home 2nd place in the Franklin County Water and Soil District Conservation Poster Contest. Congratulations to Westland High School track and field senior Kiera Bonds, who now has the school record in long jump at 18 feet and the school record in both the 100 meter and 200 meter. Congratulations to Southwestern Career Academy's pre-nursing program, who recently had 16 students receive work-based learning offers, 11 from Ohio Health, and that included 9 placements at Doctors Hospital and 2 placements at Grove City Methodist Hospital. These highly qualified students in recent weeks passed the test for their STNA credential and interviewed with hiring entities to put them in a position to receive these offers. Congratulations to these healthcare professionals, not of tomorrow, but of today. state finals for athletics. We've got Franklin Heights senior Richmond Hong Po, who took home second place in the state for the long jump. Central Crossing High School's J.D. Laws Jr. placed 12th at state in the high jump. Grove City High School's Gracie Smith, who placed 9th at state in the girls 100-meter hurdles at 14.65 seconds. And Iman Castaldi, who placed 5th in boys dash seated at 29.44 seconds at state. And Esther Faith Hen, who placed 2nd at state in girls 100-meter dash seated at 23.33 seconds. 2nd in girls 400-meter dash seated at 1.35, which is 1 minute and 35 seconds. And 2nd in the girls 800 seated at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It's really, really awesome. And I have 2 staff achievements to speak of. So congratulations to our representatives from the Transportation Department that took home 2nd place at the State Road EO. Leading up to Regional School Bus Driver Safety Rodeo Competition, participants in 8 regions take 2 written exams and maneuver a school bus through a series of practical skills that are designed to test their abilities. From there, the top 6 from 8 regions across the state were put in teams representing their region to compete in the state rodeo. And Team Central Ohio, made up out of 3 of our district drivers, 1 Groveport Madison, 1 Columbus City, and 1 Olentangy, took home runner-up this weekend. Got some very skilled drivers. And then congratulations to Grove City High School's Doug Jones, who's been recognized by the Central Ohio Interscholastic Athletics Administration Association for 15 years of service to the profession on behalf of student athletes and programs. And then just one thing that I would like to add is just a big congratulations to all of our graduates from last weekend, and a congratulations to anybody that is a part of setting up graduation. I am always so impressed at how smoothly they run and very efficient, and they're just very well done. So thank you for anybody who's involved in that.
Ms. Martindale, I echo those sentiments. If anyone has ever been there for all 4 graduations, it is amazing how we just smoothly transition from A to B to C to D, and it's just amazing. The staff do a really great job making sure that each celebration is unique for their kids. So we appreciate all of you. Next, we'll move on to items for action for fiscal and operational management. Mr. Bozo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under fiscal and operational management this evening, we have 11 items. The first will be the revised permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2022-2023. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the revised permanent appropriations. Item number 2 is investment in financial statements for May of 2023. It's Exhibit X2 and X3. It's recommended that in accordance with section 135.14 of the Ohio Revised Code, the Board of Education approve the investments and cash positioning reports for the month of May 2023. Total investments $349,213,180.97. Interest earnings month to date will be $1,293,399.46. Interest earnings year to date will be $8,104,816.08. Interest rates vary between 0.1777 to 6.049%. Items number 3 would be the payment of bills. Recommend that the Board of Education approve the payment of bills according to the list of checks for the month of May 2023. Item number 4 is donations. It's recommended the Board of Education accept the donations in the amount of $10,243.11 as detailed in Exhibit X5, and authorize letters of appreciation to all of the donors. Thank you so much for those donations, everybody. Item number 5, the authorization to pay bills in accordance with section 5705.41 of the Ohio Revised Code. Exhibit X6, it's recommended the Board of Education authorize the treasurer to pay the bills for May, which were not processed in accordance with section 5705.41 of the Ohio Revised Code. Item number 6 would be the approval of fiscal year 2023-2024 budget for the Southwest Public Library. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the 2023-2024 budget for the Southwest Public Library as presented, which will be Exhibit X7. Item number 7, agreement with the YMCA of Central Ohio. And it's recommended the Board of Education enter into an agreement with the YMCA of Central Ohio to provide Head Start programming for the 2023-2024 school year as presented in X8. Item number 8, the establishment change funds. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the distribution of change funds for the fiscal year 2023-2024 as presented in Exhibit X9. Transfers will be the next item. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the transfers of funds and various funds as presented. Transfers are necessary to fund fee waivers to buildings, school lunch debts, and replacements. That's Exhibit X10. Item number 10 is the approval of the amendment SR3 plan. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the amendment for elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds 3 plan for as presented, Exhibit X11. Item number 11, approval of student activity purpose clauses. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the new and revised student activity purpose clauses as presented in Exhibit X12. The new purpose clauses are for the class of 2027 for each of the districts that are 4 high schools. The amendment purpose clause is for the Westland ROTC program also. If anybody has any, there's a lot of things that don't make sense to a lot of people. If you have any questions, just see me afterwards. But I move these items for passage, Mr. President.
Mr. President, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Martindale. Any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes.
Ms. Martindale. Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Shriner.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes. Next under items for action, curriculum with Ms. Kathy Johnson.
Thanks, President Caldwell. First on the items for action is the second and final reading of the mathematics course of study K-12. It is in its entirety as an attachment in the agenda. The second item is the second and final reading of English language arts grades 7 to 12 textbooks and instructional materials. They have 2 are listed in the agenda. And finally, the second and final reading of health grades 5 to 12 textbooks and instructional materials. Having reviewed these, I move for passage.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. We have a second.
Yep, discussion on that.
We have to have a second before we get a discussion.
I will second that.
Mr.
Sorry,
President, now we can have a discussion.
Thank you, sir. After reading the mathematics portion of the curriculum, some of it I was taken back to or from just the talk of promote equity, which anybody that knows me, I despise that word. Also, the requires careful consideration of many issues. I'm reading verbatim from it. Issues in addition to learning goals, motivation, coercion, coerce students and teachers, cultural and linguistic assist, access and equity, again, equity things. The biggest thing that I was taken back from is the social justice part of the mathematics. It seems like the social justice has infiltrated every aspect of our educational system, which really just, I don't know why we have to deal with this in a mathematical program. Why can't we just teach math when it's talking about redlining, voter suppression, wealth gap, food insecurity, agriculture, environmental, and healthcare things? I mean, it seems to me when we delve into these items, it seems like we're trying to get community activists instead of just teaching them mathematics, which worries me a lot. So in that aspect, I'm taken back from it. With the health stuff, the textbooks, I thought were great. The handbook that is presented, it dwells into such sexuality as who somebody is sexually attracted to. Talks about safe rooms and stuff, which anybody that knows me, I'm not for. I think the whole school should be a safe room. So I just, with the sexuality of our students, really worries me. with that. So as far as the textbooks, I'm fine with, but when it wills into the handbook, I'd like to just take that chapter out. But just wanted to talk about those items that concerned me and people that had put me in this seat. I won't be voting for the mathematics. I don't know if I can vote against the handbook itself, and the textbooks are fine, but that's where I'm sitting on this issue. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or discussion? You're done. Roll call, please.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso,
It'll be yes to everything but the math and the health handbook. Thank you.
Ms. Martindale, Shriner,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes. Next under items for action for students, schools, and communities, we go back to Ms. Martin.
Right, so we've got them, so thank you, President Caldwell, on this agenda this evening for student schools and community. I've got Hayes Intermediate School that want to do the amazing shake. The students that did that are wanting to travel to Atlanta, Georgia. Finland Middle School's 8th grade students are requesting permission to travel to Washington, D.C. Central Crossing High School Student Council to travel to the Ohio State University. Franklin Heights High School and Grove City High School request to attend Camp Sherman with Central Crossing High School and JROTC. That trip was previously approved, so Franklin Heights and Grove City are just also requesting approval for that same trip. Grove City High School boys soccer are requesting to travel to Ashland University, and Southwestern Career Academy Skills USA students to travel to Atlanta, Georgia. And having reviewed all of these items, I recommend their passage and move to do so at this time.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Shriner,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes. Next, we'll have a personnel report from President Schreiner.
Thank you, President Caldwell. On the board agenda this evening are 10 personnel items involving 506 persons. This includes 38 certificated resignations, 1 administrative employment, 8 certificated changes in employment status, 291 certificated employments, 20 classified resignations, 26 classified changes in employment status, 122 classified employments, an addendum to the collective bargaining agreement with the Southwestern Education Association, a recommendation to approve an increase in classified substitute hourly rates, and a recommendation to approve non-OPSI salary schedules. After reviewing these items for action, I move them now for passage.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Shriner,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes. Next, we have items for action. Next we have public participation relative to non-agenda items. First. We have Dr. Rachel Zeilberg.
That's okay. Nobody ever does, so I don't worry about it anymore. My name is Rachel Zoltberg, and I am the pediatrician and neonatologist that has cared for Lexi Spawn from the date of her birth in July of 2004. Lexi has a rare genetic syndrome known as Cri-du-Chat or 5p deletion. The incidence of this defect is 1 per 50,000 to 1 per 100,000 live births. Approximately 95% of these children die before their second birthday due to major catastrophic organ failure or dysfunctions. It is extremely rare for these individuals to attain adulthood. According to Nationwide Children's Hospital Genetics Department, they only follow 10 patients that have survived beyond their second birthday. Since the condition is so rare, it can be concluded that none of the administrative staff at the district have ever encountered a student with this condition, and as such, they would have no way of comprehending the amount of care that this student would require. Although Mrs. Spawn and myself have attempted to educate the staff regarding this syndrome and the medical care required, we have been met with total resistance on this matter. Due to Lexi's condition of failure to thrive and cerebral palsy, she lost 19 pounds during her freshman year. A simple accommodation was needed, namely that Lexi should have access to food and water at all times of the day, and that her water bottle should be placed on her desk. This accommodation dealt with both her failure to thrive and cerebral palsy limitation. It took several months for the school district to agree to this change, and since that time, Lexi has regained 13.5 pounds. The second accommodation required is due to the potential risk for aspiration pneumonia in individuals that have Cri du Chat. A medical policy was instituted to address this concern. As a result of my medical training and my experience as medical director of the intensive care nursery at Mount Carmel East Hospital, and with my experience in writing medical policies, I wrote and supplied the district with the emergency medical policy to address this concern. In a hospital setting, medical policies are approved by the medical staff. Once a policy is approved by the medical staff, it then goes to legal and hospital administration. Their role is to screen the policy to make it consistent between sister hospitals within the hospital corporate network and to address any legal concerns. The administration and legal do not alter, change, add, or subtract anything that is of medical content. This is not their purview. In spite of the fact that the policy was written by me to address a medical issue, the administration altered the medical content of the policy, and it went through 7 drafts with a delay of 2 months. The final draft that was finally approved was essentially the same as the original draft that I had provided to the district. I am here today as Lexi's physician, and as such, her advocate and to protect her rights and interests. But in reality, all Mrs. Spawn and I have ever wanted is that Lexi should be treated with the same consideration and dignity that all human beings are entitled to. If any members of the board have any questions regarding what I have addressed today, they are free to contact me or Mrs. Spawn with any of their concerns. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Ms. Jean Spawn.
Hello, my name is Jenny Spawn. I have been a resident of Grove City for 25 years. My daughter, Lexi Spawn, has cerebral palsy, 5P minus, or sometimes referred to as Cri du Chat or cat's cry syndrome. She is intellectually just 3 years old and is on an IEP in a special education cross-cat program in the district. Lexi attended Franklin Heights High School until October 2022, when the superintendent changed Lexi's school of attendance without the consent of Lexi or myself to Grove City High School. In September of 2022, I made several members of this district's administration, including the superintendent, aware that Lexi's rights had been violated by an employee of this district during Lexi's previous school year. I was advised by 3 Southwestern City School District employees. 3. I received a letter signed by a concerned staff member. I had personally witnessed Lexi not being taken to the bathroom when she queued to go, but at that time, it was explained away as just a single occurrence. I was not aware that Lexi's IEP had not been followed and her rights were violated as a standard practice throughout the school year. Lexi's water cup was kept from her daily to discourage her water intake. Lexi was not taken to the bathroom properly. Lexi was not given food daily. And when Lexi did receive food, Lexi was not given ample time to eat her food before it was taken away from her. Lexi has always had extreme difficulty with gaining and maintaining weight. Lexi had a feeding tube for the first 12 years of her life. Dr. Zilberberg and myself have shared information throughout the years with administration on the syndrome because 5P minus is so rare. We are still working on gaining back the 19 pounds Lexi lost due to her rights being violated. Lexi is 18 years old and finally weighs just over 80 pounds again. Because I was advised by district staff that these things happen to Lexi, I asked the district to conduct a thorough and unbiased investigation. That was not done. The investigation that the district conducted was closed in October 2022. I did not receive a copy of that investigation report until January 2023, when I requested to the district council directly. Immediately upon receiving the report, I filed a formal complaint on the district's investigator and then requested the investigation be reopened or reinvestigated fully by an impartial party. The superintendent advised that these were not options, but I was more than welcome to submit my concern and they would be attached to the back of the existing report. In March of 2023, the superintendent reopened Lexi's investigation, but only partially. I am asking you, the board, to please have a third party, an impartial party, investigate Lexi's rights being violated to its entirety. Please look at this situation. Sorry. Please look at this situation as if Lexi was your child or grandchild. You would strongly advocate for that child because you know they are not capable of doing so without your help. That is exactly what I am doing, advocating for Lexi because she is unable to do so for herself. On behalf of myself and Lexi, I am asking you to please reconsider. As far as the medical plan for Lexi, Dr. Zilberberg should work directly with the district's nurse. The nurse can work directly with the director of special education. This streamlines communication regarding all things medical for Lexi. Thank you for your time. Thank you for consideration. I greatly appreciate it.
Last we'll hear from Karen Blackburn.
Hi, good evening. My name is Karen Blackburn. I am a coach at Grove City Buddy Ball. Lexi's been on our team for about 7 years. I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, and my heart breaks for what I've learned that's happened in the school district. Lexi's been a player with us. She's loving and sweet. She responds well to guidance. She follows direction, always with a smile. As coaches, we apply gestures and nonverbal communication to our kids, along with a lot of love and listening to what they're saying or what we're sensing from them. She loves her family. She calls their names out. She calls her mom and dad. I think it's wonderful because they're a wonderful family. And I don't understand why somebody would not allow that or would tell her they don't want to bring up parents because she's in school. It's, parents and family, it's relational. It's how all of us were created. So we need to allow her to express that. She's adored by the entire Buddy Ball family, and people will seek her out just to say hi or get one of her hugs or have her blow you a kiss. As a coach, we help our players however they need to be helped so they can enjoy the game, feel confident, and we enable them to be as independent as their individual special needs allow. We watch and listen carefully to the kids for their need, not ours. And if it's a rest period, a hug, a high five, water, or a restroom break, we attend to them immediately. As a matter of fact, in the last 7 years, Lexi's asked me one time to be taken to the restroom, and that was Saturday. And that's exactly what I did immediately. When a person, teacher, paraprofessional ignores or neglects a child, especially those with special needs, there should be immediate action by the school district with full transparency to the parents of the child with what is happening to protect the child and how the school will work to resolve any issues. When parents and children are not being heard and the situation is handled internally by the district or siloed without full inclusion and transparency, that is clearly a failure in process. This should be viewed as a violation of civil rights and parental rights. The school needs to adhere to all the principles of equality and justice. Please just be part of the solution and not the problem. Grove City has been my hometown since 1960. Southwestern City Schools has been a huge part of my life and my family's. I'm just deeply saddened to hear of this behavior happening in our school district. And I just implore the district to reopen an impartial third-party investigation with an unbiased opinion. Please give Lexi the voice that she needs and she deserves. And I pray that you make the right decision to reopen the investigation. Thank you.
Thank you to all three of our speakers tonight. Someone from the district will follow up with Ms. Spahn directly. Moving on in our agenda, items for discussion by the board.
I should be on the public discussion. So
No.
No?
We have to
Right, I'm sorry.
I got an email from Kate that I can do.
That's not what it said.
Dr. Hayward, if you want
It says
to.
during a time set aside in the agenda, which was earlier.
And then you also had public discussion. Would you like me to read it?
Good evening. Tonight, Christine Galvin is on the agenda for the position of Director of Technology, of Career Technology. She comes to us from the Educational Service Center of Central Ohio, serving as Director of College and Career Success for the past 7 years. Previously, she was an administrator in Bell Fountain City Schools and Hardin Northern Schools. She began her educational career as an English language arts teacher at Ohio High Point Career Center.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to join Southwestern City Schools. I work at the Educational Service Center, so I work with districts all across Central Ohio. And Southwestern has a stellar reputation for your career technical education program. So I'm so excited to join that team and to be a part of that work. So thank you so much. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity.
Next, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry. I know I was getting on the curriculum stuff, but I just want to say our process of doing our curriculum, I think is great. I think the teachers that volunteer their time to do it is awesome. So you know what, I think it's awesome. It's just some disagreement. I just want to put that out there. That's going to happen wherever we are in this world nowadays, but thanks for that. Thank you, Mr. President.
I appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Bozo. I mean, our curriculum department goes to great lengths to involve as many people in that process as can. We let the public be able to review those materials for our first reading when we let you know it's going to be there, and our second reading when we have this meeting now. But our staff take a lot of time to evaluate the curriculum, make sure that we have the best curriculum possible for our students and those that have to present the material. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
And that is a good point. For everybody out there, that curriculum is put in a room. Anybody can view it. Go look at it. I recommend you do and talk to us about it as board members, so we know what you guys want. So it's always there. It's not like they're hiding anything from you. It's all open. You can call over there. Margaret and them will take care of you and set you up. So they're great over there. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments? I hear none. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And roll call.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes.
Mr. Shriner,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.